Hi, welcome to another session of Revit Family Academy. We'll be going a departure again here and going away from families and covering how to create a cinematic walkthrough of of your building or of a building. I have a colleague that needed to figure out how to do that, so I thought I'd give him a video. He's off site and share it with you. Um, what I'm going to the walkthrough this technique can be used in pretty much any version of Revit. I'm using 2013 here, um, but again, any version. So for this, it's good to have some form of building at pretty much any phase of the project, but some form. So I'm going to go to level 1 here. Actually, I'll just show you the building here. Go to the 3D view, and you can see this is the building. I threw some trees in there just for this tutorial. Okay, and it's good to start off at say level 1, but what you'll need to do, another request for this user was they wanted to create a cinematic walkthrough around the building, but they wanted to be up at about 50 meters above the building. So for to place the cameras, you'll need to edit the view range of this level. So right now I think your default view range for metrics are 2300, so you'll have to edit the view range. I've already done that, but you have to change. Instead of originally it was at 2300 meters, you'll have to change it to 50 meters if you wanted that height. Um, but that's where the camera is, so I'm going to put it to 60 meters M. Hit tab to convert it. Hit OK. So now my view range is in scope of where I'm going to put the camera. Otherwise, if you try to put a camera view that's above the view range, it'll give you a warning that it's outside the view range. So we've changed that. Okay, next thing we'll do is under the View tab, we'll click on 3D View, click on Walkthrough here. Click Walkthrough, and next thing to do is I want this camera to be up from this level 50 meters, 50 M. Hit Tab. Okay, now next thing to do is you want to place your camera pretty much farther away from the building. Okay, so that's our path. This cursor right now is going to be the camera positions. Now, you can want to limit your number of camera positions or number of clicks to a minimum because you're going to have to edit these later. So more camera points you pick, the more work you're going to do, but the smoother the path. So it's a judgment call on yourself. So I'm going to put as least as possible around this building. So I'm going to click here, and I'm going to go along, click here, go along, and click. Okay. And right there. And then to get out of this, I'll just hit escape. There's my path. Okay, so another thing we'll have to edit is, okay, what we have right now is imagine this is a road and we're driving along this road and we're not allowed to look right or left. Imagine, would you see your building? No, that's what's happening here. My camera path, if I play this, look straight out the windshield and you will never see the building. What we want to do is tell the guy in the car to look to the building when we're driving around. Okay, so we have to edit that. By default, it looks in the direction of the path. So we'll have to edit each of those points. Okay. And also, this cone represents the depth, this depth of our view. Okay, we'll have to change that as well. What we're going to do is we're going to pick on this path, and up here is our walkthrough properties. What we can do is, you know what, I'm going to get rid of active far clip. What that means is, that means you're clipping this view. Okay, so I'm going to say I don't want to have an active far clip. I want to see infinitely. Okay, do that. So now we don't have to worry about adjusting that. So the next thing we'll do is we're going to edit this walkthrough. Okay, edit that walkthrough, and now you can see those are my click points or those are my camera positions. We'll have to edit each of these points. So I'm going to zoom really close to this, and we're just going to move. We want to move this kind of a bullseye thing. We have to click our cursor and pull this. This is changing our camera position to look at the building but go along this path. So The only problem with this is very small to the scale of my building. Nothing you can do. So I'm going to kind of look at, I want to look at the building that way. Great. So now, because we're starting at the last frame, we're going to go to the previous keyframe, not previous frame, keyframe. So watch what happens here. Previous keyframe. Click. I go to this one. Look where the camera's looking. I'm going to tell it, no, you got to look at the building here. Click on that. Okay. Previous keyframe and so forth. So you go along the path. So I can do this pretty quick. Path. Look at the building. Previous keyframe. Look at the building. Previous. Look at the building. Previous. Look at the building. Oops, let's try that again. Look at the building this way. Sometimes it's nice to actually put that far clip back on and actually pull it because it helps you. Oops, no, I don't want to edit that. It helps you see where you're looking. So just for orientation, I might actually leave this on. Nice thing about this, once you change the camera depth, it changes on all of them. You have to go through all the points. So if I go to previous keyframe, now it's a little easier to see. I can't grab that point to move the angle. I still have to go down here, but at least it helps me capture where my view depth is going. So after I do that, so this really helps as a guideline. So you could leave it, or you could simply, after you're done, get rid of the far clipping, hit apply. Okay, so it might help as a guideline. So we'll leave that on for now. But again, that just means that's how far I'm seeing is up to that point. So that might be too much. It doesn't matter. So now you can see I'm all done. I've done all those points. So if you want to leave it at that, we could just go and we don't hit play because we're just going to see how it moves along here. If I hit play, you're going to see this go along here. Doesn't do anything, so I'm going to hit escape here. Yes, stop it. Now, what we're going to do is we want to open the walkthrough, open it to the view I'm looking at. I'm going to go into shaded view here just so it looks a little better. Shaded view. And, oops, I lost my walkthrough. To go back here, I'm just going to click on walkthroughs. Click on walkthrough. Oops, actually I have to click the frame, edit the walkthrough, and then I can play the walkthrough. Okay. So there's my walkthrough, kind of a cinematic walkthrough. Now it gets a little bit more complicated if at some point you want to have your camera view angled down. This is looking straight out at 50 meters. Okay. You want to change the angle looking down, that gets a bit more complicated. And I'll just give you an idea what that means. So I'm going to stop this walkthrough. I'm going to go back to level 1 here. And where's my elevation? Just move my elevation point back here a little outside the path. Okay. So what we're going to do is look at the elevation view of this. Just pulled this back here. So I'm going to go to this elevation view. And what helps a lot is if I, turn the crop region off, hide the crop region, and I'm going to click on do not crop view. Do not crop view, so I can see the whole camera. So I'm going to click on that. So next thing I'm going to do is my walkthrough here. I'm going to right click and say show camera. Now you can see, so now you can see this camera view in an elevation view. So I can click on edit the walkthrough and you see these points. Now I may want to, this is where I can angle the camera down to look more at the building. So I might go down here and say grab my little bullseye point. I can see I can angle the camera down towards the building. Okay. And again, I have to do that for all the points. So that's why it's really crucial I'm not creating a lot of points. So I'm going to kind of go by eye and say, okay, I've angled it down here. It's not an accurate thing here. So what I'm going to do is I've moved it down there. So for my own reference, I'm going to get out of this. I'm going to click out here, say edit the walkthrough, kind of remember where this is. It's a little about 1 millimeter, 2 millimeters away from this this line here. So I'm going to edit, get out of the walkthrough, yes. What I'm going to do is try to remember where there's and create a reference plane, oops, across this, and it might be a few clicks on this just for a reference. And I do a reference plane all the way across here, and I typed in RP, by the way, for a reference plane. Okay, and click on that again, pull that, oops, pull that out, and I'll show you why. Okay, so now I want to see where my camera is again. So I'm going to click on the camera down here, left in the project browser, right click, say show camera. Okay, there's my camera again, zoom up here, and I'm going to click on edit walkthrough so I can see where that bullseye point is. So I'm pretty much almost on there. Again, it's a visual thing. Okay, great. So now, got that. So I'm going to hit my next keyframe. This is my next keyframe, and you can see that bullseye is not pulled down. So I'm going to pull this bullseye down so it's very close to the next one. Okay, got that. So next keyframe. Where is it? Zoom out a little. And you can pretty much get most of them in this elevation view. You might have to change your elevation view. Okay, next keyframe, pull it down. Okay, next keyframe, pull it down. Next keyframe, where is it? Oops, where is it? Okay, yeah, I can still see that bullseye, so I'll pull that down. I'll pull it down a little bit more. Okay, next keyframe. Go, pull that down. Okay, again, it's a very, and you can see I'm done pretty much. I can just go through previous keyframe. They're all pretty much done. Yeah, they're all done. So I'm done. So all I have to do is click on Open Walkthrough. Now you can see the camera's pointed down, and now hit play. So now the camera is pointing more at the subject or more at the building, slightly angled down. And oops, and hit play again. Or playing at, we started at a previous point, so that's why it's ending. But if I want to go to the beginning, hit 1, enter, hit play, and that's how you create a cinematic walkthrough your building, and is going as far as editing the actual angle of the camera. Thanks for watching.